Assalamu alaikum children. Welcome to the science class for the grade 4. This is lesson number 11, Air, Water and Weather, part 3. In the previous two videos, we have studied about the air and weather, land breeze and sea breeze, and the terms evaporation and condensation and the properties, the factors which affect on evaporation also we have seen. In today's video, we will be discussing about the water cycle and purification of water. So let's start our lesson. As in the previous videos, we have seen in detail the processes of evaporation and condensation, which occurs naturally. So what is evaporation? Changing the liquid water into water vapors on heating. And what is condensation? Changing the water vapors into water drops on cooling. So these phenomena takes place naturally. It occurs naturally. So we will see what is water cycle. So as we understood evaporation and condensation, so let's see this. Continuous evaporation and condensation in nature cause rainfall. So in the nature, continuous evaporation and condensation takes place. In daytime, the sun's heat evaporates water from the ponds, lakes, streams, rivers, seas, and oceans. See, wherever the surface area is exposed more, the evaporation takes place in more quantity. So in daytime, because of the heat of the sun, the evaporation process continuously takes place from the lakes, from the rivers, from the oceans, wherever the water bodies are there. Evaporation process goes on continuously. Okay. The water vapor present in air is light and rises up into the air. As you have seen in the properties of the air, as hot air always rises up because it is light. So the water vapor present in air is light and rises up into the air. As water vapor rises, it cools down and condenses into tiny drops of water. So how the water is evaporating in the form of water vapors, which will be lightweight, it rises up. When it goes to the particular height, it forms clouds. Okay, when it forms clouds, then it cools down. When it cools down, these water vapors changes into water drops. Here what happens? This liquid water changes into water vapors on heating because of the heat of the sun. But when they go to the particular height, they form clouds, and because of cooling, these water vapors changes into water drops. Understood? These droplets cling on to one another and form clouds. Okay, these water vapors, when they rises up, they cling on to one another and form clouds. When clouds become big and heavy because of these water drops, when clouds become heavy and big, they cannot hold the drops of water anymore. They cannot hold that heavy water in that. So these drops fall down as rain. The rainwater recharges ponds and rivers that flows into seas and oceans. This continuous movement of water between Earth's surface and the atmosphere is called water cycle. So how this cycle is taking place? Did you understand? Water is evaporating. Then it is cooling down and forming clouds. It is condensing. Condensation process is taking place. Then when it is becoming heavy, it is falling down again on the earth in the form of rainfall. So here evaporation is taking place, then condensation, then rainfall. Rainfall is called as precipitation. So this evaporation, condensation, precipitation. Again, which water, when we these ponds and lakes, when they got water loss because of evaporation, it is recharged again by the rainfall. Here water is getting evaporated and again it is getting it in the form of rainfall. So this cycle goes on. This continuous movement of water between earth's surface and atmosphere is called water cycle. Understood? Okay. Now we will see purification of water. What happens to the rainwater when it falls on earth's surface? Just now we have seen how we get rainfall. So what happens to this water? Some of the water enters into the streams. Okay, wherever the water reservoirs are there, water bodies are there, the rainwater, it goes to these streams, ponds, lakes, rivers, seas and oceans. Some rainwater is absorbed by the soil. Yes, water is absorbed by the soil and is go to the groundwater. It forms the groundwater which we dig out from the wells and hand pumps and all. So some of the water is going to the ponds and lakes, and some of the water is getting absorbed by the groundwater. Then it seeps into the soil and collects under the ground. This water is called groundwater. We dig wells, hand pumps and tube wells to get groundwater. Let us follow the path of rainwater as it flows down. Rainwater is pure. However, poisonous gases released by vehicles and factories get mixed with the rain and make it dirty. So which water we get from the rainfall, that water will be pure. It is pure and clean water. But when it enters to the atmosphere and when it reaches the earth, in the middle, which smoke, dust and whatever the polluted things will be there in the air, it mixes with the water and it makes the water polluted. So now we cannot use this water directly for drinking purpose, so we need to purify it. Okay, when this water reaches the land, more impurities get added into this polluted water flows into water bodies and pollute them as well. So this, when this water come on the land, it gets more polluted. Okay, in the water from water bodies, this water which is contaminated, now which is polluted, it is not safe for drinking. Okay, it is not safe for drinking. It contains soluble and insoluble impurities. It may also contain germs. This makes the water unfit for drinking. So it is not safe for drinking. We need to purify it. So what are soluble impurities? They are substances such as salt that dissolve in water, and insoluble impurities are substances such as sand that do not dissolve in water. Sand, it cannot dissolve, no, so it remain in the same condition. The impurities and germs should be removed from water to make it fit for drinking. So this can be done by some methods. So to purify the water, we need to apply some methods. We need to follow some methods, that is filtration, boiling, chlorination, by using water filters, sedimentation and decantation. So all these methods we will see in detail. Okay, so that's it for today's video. In the next video, we will see the methods for purification of water. Okay children, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.